Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience, and I'm here tonight with something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about some of the music that I use. Well, not only reviewing headphones and headphone amps and all that, but also just, my personal listening when I sit down to listen at night, maybe, for a little while before I go to bed to unwind and forget my day's problems. So, anyway, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I primarily use CDs. And so I wanted to do a video tonight and show you some of my favorite CDs that I think are the best recordings and that bring out the best in a headphone. And, because there's a lot of really well recorded music out there that a lot of people, aren't aware of it, and I'm sure that there's a lot out there that I'm not aware of, and so I want to help you to, point out a few of these CDs that are really well recorded and that are going to bring out the best in your equipment. So I put together about 40 CDs tonight, and I'm going to go through them. Try to make this as quick as possible, but I wanted to talk a little bit about a few of these. So to get started, I'm going to start out with a couple of the very obvious choices, and I'm going to start out with this one. This is Aja by Steely Dan, and pretty much anyone into audiophile equipment knows that pretty much everything Steely Dan has ever recorded has been of exceptional quality. And I haven't heard all of their albums or CDs, but this is definitely one of my favorites. This is just recorded so well, just so clear. The instruments, the drums, the cymbals and everything are just crystal clear in this. And if you want to hear the best that your equipment's capable of, this is going to be one of your first choices. So I'm just going to grab a stack here and go through a few of these. The second on my list is Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, and another band that pretty much everything they've ever done has been exceptionally well recorded. And this is one of the basics. This is one of, if you ask any group of audiophiles what the best recordings are, Dark Side of the Moon is always going to come out at the top, towards the top of the list. Something a little bit different. You may not be a fan of Madonna. This is the Immaculate Collection, but she is another person that everything she has recorded since the very beginning, since the days of Lucky Star and Borderline and songs like that. Everything she's done has been exceptionally well recorded, very strong, solid bass, crystal clear, just something that's going to bring out the best in your equipment. Leaning towards something a little harder, this is the Black Album by Metallica, some hard rock that is really well recorded. Once again, very solid, undistorted bass, and something that's just gonna, shake your head a little bit if you've got some headphones with some bass. Going in a different direction, this is some Tchaikovsky, and this particular recording here, this is, I don't even know who this is by, who did this, but anyway, this one here is one of my favorites, especially for listening to depth of Soundstage. This is, it has the Nutcracker Suite and Swan Lake on it and a few other things. And the depth of the recording is just, this is just such a great CD for testing the depth of a headphone of the Soundstage, how far out it can reach in front, because it's just, this CD has almost unlimited depth to it. A lot of width, a lot of height, pinpoint imaging, but just huge amounts of, layered depth where you hear all the different instruments out in front of you. Here's one. This one's a little bit controversial. Some people think that this is recorded a little bit hot, a little bit oversaturated, but still, it's crystal clean. And this is another one. This is The Dance by Fleetwood Mac. It's a live album, and one of the best live recordings I've heard. And another one's just going to bring out the best in your equipment. This one here, this is Rock Steady by No Doubt. And no doubt their stuff has been recorded decent, but not exceptional. But this one here, in my opinion, is the best recorded of any of their CDs that I've heard. And first of all, I love Gwen Stefani's voice, but the bass is strong and tight, and just another CD that's crystal clean. Here's another live recording. This is 10,000 Maniacs Unplugged MTV. This was a totally acoustical recording done live, and another one that's exceptionally clean and clear. And Natalie Merchant's voice, some people love it, some people don't. I really do. Another CD though that I really like in testing equipment. Here's something a little bit different direction. Pearl Jam, if you're into grunge, this is one that was, in my opinion, recorded really well. Here's some Kraftwerk, which they were really big back in the 80s. They were from Germany, and this is electronic computer-based music, and really good for testing the clarity and bass and all that in a pair of headphones. Excellent imaging and Soundstage, not natural at all. There's no acoustic or natural sounding instruments in this, but very cool, and makes almost any headphone sound good. Here's one. Back when I was in high school, Rush was one of my favorite bands. I was really into them, and in my opinion, this is the first album they did. This is Permanent Waves, that I thought was really well recorded. If I go back and listen to them, I really enjoy their older stuff, but some of it isn't recorded as well as I would like. So I think this is where they started recording things real well, and the sound quality is there. I mean, it's great music. I love Rush, but from here to this point on, I think the quality of their recordings was a lot better. This is Howard Jones. He was real big back in the 80s. He's another person that was fanatical about the quality of his recordings, and this would be kind of a new wave type of thing, but mostly electronic, but another exceptionally well recorded CD. Let's go to the next pile here. This is REM, and this is their very first album, Murmur. REM's another band that pretty much everything they've ever recorded has been done really, really well. All the recordings are very high quality. I just really like this first one. It has a lot of acoustical guitars and drums and cymbals and things that just really jump out at you, and always like this. I remember when this album first came out, I had it on cassette tape and used to listen to it in my car on the way to work back in like probably 84, 85, something like that. So had that around a long time. Going in a little bit of a different direction. This is Front 242. They're an industrial band out of Belgium, I believe, and they're kind of similar to Rammstein, but this is really, really well recorded for some really hard driving industrial music. This one is just exceptionally recorded, and pretty much everything they did, the band Front 242, was recorded well, but this is one of my favorites. This is another one that if you ask people to name some great recordings, the Eagles' Hell Freezes Over, that's gonna come up a lot. And I mean, this is just exceptionally well recorded, and especially the version on this of Hotel California. They starts out with several minutes of instrumental with guitars and drums, and it's just exceptional. I mean, it's just gonna, if your equipment is capable, it's going to just blow you away, the sound of it. Another band that pretty much everything they've ever done is recorded really, really well, and that's Dire Straits, and this is Brothers in Arms, which I believe won an award for Best Recording of the Year, and just another band that records everything really well. But this CD, the Soundstage, the imaging are incredible, and there's a couple live songs towards the end of this that just almost bring me to tears every time I listen to them. And you know, with a great set of headphones, this you just get engulfed in it. It just sucks you into the music, and you become part of it. Here's a band, the Cranberries, and this CD is, I even wasn't sure if I was going to put this on my list, because sometimes I listen to this and it just doesn't impress me that much as far as the quality of the recording, but then other times I listen to it and it just kind of blows me away how good it sounds. So I'm not really sure, but most of the time I really like this one. And you know, they had a unique sound. Unfortunately, Dolores O'Riordan, I believe is her name, isn't with us anymore, so there isn't anything new coming out by the Cranberries, but they had a unique sound, and really like this CD. The Cars, another band that's been around since the late 70s, and pretty much everything they put out was recorded very well, and this is a collection of some of their greatest hits, and just there's so many songs in this that just the quality of it, the clearness and of the guitars, the you know, the bass, the solid, the weight to it, the clarity of it. Some of the songs on this just kind of blow me away as far as the sound quality. Here's another one leaning towards industrial, and this is 9 Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine, and this is pretty old. I think it's from the early 90s, and this is another one just for this type of music that was exceptionally well recorded. But Trent Reznor, he was kind of a fanatic in the recording studio, and he wasn't going to put out something that didn't sound great. So if you want something harder, some electronic, but with guitars and stuff, this is another great recording. Here's one I really like, the Blues Travelers. And this has a lot of acoustical music in it, and some of the best sounding recordings of harmonicas I've ever heard. Harmonicas never did that much for me until I heard this CD, and just about every song on it has harmonics and acoustic guitars, and it's just really recorded really, really well. This is a band called ABC. They were big in the 80s, and another kind of new wave type of band, mostly electronic, but this is another band that was fanatical about the quality of their recordings, and this one here, How to Be a Zillionaire, in my opinion, was one of the best of several CDs they did that were recorded really well. This is Jewel, Pieces of You, and I really like Jewel for testing headphones. First of all, she just has an incredible voice, in my opinion, but tons of acoustic guitars, and recorded really well. The first song on this, Who Will Save Your Soul, the bass is kind of funky on that, but other than that, just a really well recorded CD, and really like some of the stuff on here. And to me, female voices and acoustic guitars, pianos, that sort of thing are the best way to test a headphone to see if it sounds natural. You know, electronic music can make almost any headphone sound good, but it takes a really good headphone to duplicate voices and acoustical instruments and make them sound the way they should. This is one of my very favorites. This is a live recording. This is Sarah McLachlan, and this is called Mirror Ball. And I pulled this CD out reviewing just about every headphone, amp, DAC I have. This CD is recorded exceptionally well. All of her CDs are. Everything I've heard from Sarah McLachlan has all been recorded very well, but this one is live, and this one is just exceptional. I personally think this is one of the best recordings I have ever heard. Another one who is famous for really good recordings is Norah Jones, and this isn't the Norah Jones CD I meant to grab. Come Away With Me, which I've heard is one of the most popular selling audiophile albums ever. But anyway, all of her CDs, in my opinion, sound great, except for one, and that was called Little Broken Hearts, and I don't know what happened with that one. I just don't think it sounds good at all, but Come Away With Me, and This Is the Fall, and every other recording she's done, just exceptional. Just the clarity, her voice. Some people love it. Other people aren't crazy about it. It's kind of raspy, but anyway, just the pianos and acoustical music in this is really good, and a really good test of how good your headphones are at producing natural sounds. Another one going in kind of a different direction. This is Depeche Mode. They're still around, I think. They've been around since the early 80s and maybe even the late 70s. Speak and Spell was their first CD, and their early stuff sounded decent, but not real good. But later on, their quality got up there, and this one I like in particular. This is actually has a 12-inch version and the studio recording of World in My Eyes, and this version has some of the best low sub bass I've ever heard, and the soundstage on this is just crazy. There's all these sounds that are zipping around, not only back and forth, side to side, but forward. And I actually, with a good pair of headphones, I actually hear sounds going around my head. I hear things going from this side down here to up here, from back and forth, but I actually hear things going around my head with this recording, and this is World in My Eyes, the 12-inch version by Depeche Mode. But they have a lot of stuff that sound really good. This one here is another one of my favorites for reviewing headphones. This is Tori Amos, and this is Tales from a Librarian. And once again, a woman with an exceptional voice, in my opinion. But she is an outstanding piano player, and the pianos are really emphasized in her music, and I just love this for listening to headphones. Just the clarity and the quality of the recordings of her piano music is some of the best I've ever heard. If you want good recordings of piano, Tori Amos, and pretty much all of her CDs sound great. Excuse me a second. Gotta get a drink here. Okay, one more stack, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. This is a band called Pet Shop Boys. They were real big in the 80s. Kind of a new wave dance type of thing. I think they were pretty popular in dance clubs. And this one is introspective. And anyway, all of their CDs sound really good, but this was one of the best. The clarity is great. The bass is tight and strong, and the vocals are really good. And just a lot, really good sound staging and imaging, and just kind of things all over the place. And Pet Shop Boys, another band that pretty much everything they did was recorded well. This is Stevie Nicks. I'm sure you all know who she was, a lead singer from, or one of the lead singers from Fleetwood Mac. This was a solo album of hers, Crystal Visions, and just recorded really well. I really like her voice. Not everyone does, but anyway, just a lot of acoustic guitars and just a lot of different percussion type of instruments and all that. And some of her and the older Fleetwood Mac stuff just has incredible guitar work on it. This is Paul Simon, Graceland, and Paul Simon is someone else that I'm pretty sure that every recording he ever did was done really well, but I really, really like this one. It's kind of a unique, music, and the clarity is outstanding, and just little things like little wood blocks and little chimes and things in the background, and it just kind of there's quite a bit of variety to the music on this, but another one that's just a really good recording that's going to bring out the best in your equipment. This is a band that most of you have probably never heard of. They're called Single Gun Theory, and I'm not even sure where they're from. I think they might have been from India or somewhere. And it was I think they came out in the late 80s, and kind of a new wave type of thing, but just can't remember the name of the lead singer, but she's got a really great voice, and just this is really well recorded, and I really like this. Another one that it's got some really deep sub bass in it, a song called Man of Straw. That one's got this really deep sub bass. It's a good test of your equipment. This is Spandau Ballet. This is from way back in the 80s, and yeah, kind of dating myself here, letting you know how old I am by showing you all this 80s music, but this was kind of a mellow type of music that you'd listen to, put it on during dinner, with a date, candlelight dinner, and just really recorded real well, beautiful music, really nice to listen to and relax to. This is Joe Jackson, and this is Night and Day, and in my opinion, one of the best recorded albums ever. Just Joe Jackson was another one that was fanatical in the recording studio about making sure everything was perfect. And one I forgot to grab, so I can't show it to you, is Speaking in Tongues by Talking Heads. Another one, David Byrne was fanatical about making sure that his recordings were as perfect as they could be, and it's another one of my favorites for listening to headphones. This one, this is George Gershwin. This is Rhapsody in Blue and American in Paris, and like 18-minute versions, and some of my favorites for just sitting back and listening to headphones late at night, and just so many different instruments, and the sound staging and the imaging and everything. It just sucks you into it, where you just become part of the music. This is Peter Gabriel, and this is I guess this is the definitive 2 CD collection. This is sort of a greatest hits, but Peter Gabriel was another one that just pretty much everything he ever put out was recorded really well. This is UB40, which is sort of a reggae band, but I think they were from England maybe. But anyway, I've got 2-3 of their CDs, and same thing, just recorded really well. And if you want something with some really deep bass and something that you can just kind of relax to and mellow out, UB40 is one of the best. Thompson Twins, some of you will remember them from back in the 80s. They weren't twins. It was 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman. Can't remember her first name, Alana or something like that. And anyway, I saw this band in concert, I think about 8 times, and they were just incredible. They usually had about 9 people on the stage playing every kind of instrument you could imagine. And if you like percussions, they have so many different percussion instruments going at once and just all over the place, and the sound staging is incredible with this band, and the recordings are done real well. This is a greatest hit. This is the best of Thompson Twins, and this was from like 1986 or something like that, but it's kind of an 80s new wave type of thing, but just really well recorded, and just an exceptional mix of instruments and percussion. I mean, just every kind of bell, xylophone, chimes, anything you can imagine. It's in these recordings. This is Tears for Fears, and they were another 80s band, and this was, what's this called? It's the Millennial Collection. This is just kind of a greatest hits type thing, and there's a couple of tracks on this that are just exceptional. One would be, I believe, this is it's not the original recording off of, what album? I think that was on Songs from the Big Chair, but this version of I Believe is incredible. It's even better than the original. And the song Woman in Chains in this, just the bass and the clarity, and just, this one blows me away sometimes. Something a little harder again. If you're into harder music, this is Linkin Park, and I know this is pretty old, but it's still one of my favorites. I love this album, Hybrid Theory, and yeah, they overplayed it on the radio, and for a couple of years I couldn't listen to it anymore, but now I still dig it out every once in a while, and when I've got some headphones with some bass and some, dynamics to them, this is still one of my favorites. This is the Sundays, and this is called Blind, and the female vocalist in this, I can't think of her last name. I think her first name's Harriet. Well, anyway, she's just got this beautiful, sweet voice, and this is all acoustic guitars, and the thing that's really great about this one is the sound staging. You almost swear you're outside. There's like no limits to the sound staging. When I listen to this, I feel like I don't feel like I'm in a room or a studio or, even in a concert hall. I feel like I'm sitting outside with the music around me, and there's just no limits. It's like nothing reflecting back, and this is great for relaxing late at night before I go to bed. But that's the Sundays, Blind, and they've got a few other albums that I don't have, but I think pretty much everything they did was recorded real well. And then I'm going to end this off, last but not least, this is the best of Supertramp. And this stuff was recorded all the way back in the 70s. And most of the stuff on this was off of Breakfast in America, and I can't think of the other one right now. One of their big albums, but anyway, this stuff was just recorded so well. It's hard to, when I listen to this, just hard for me to believe that this is like 40 years old, 45 years old. I mean, I was in high school when this stuff was recorded, and it's just done so well, and so much dynamic range, and the sound staging is just out so wide, and the clarity, and it's hard to find anything new that's recorded this well. So anyway, I hope this gives you a few ideas as far as some new music that you haven't tried out, and some few CDs, or you can get these on vinyl, or you can download them, or get them off the internet or whatever. But these are just some recordings that I really like, and like I said, most of these bands, pretty much everything they put out, I've got like Norah Jones, I've got like probably, I think every CD she did, bands like Dire Straits and Pink Floyd and Steely Dan, everything they did was recorded exceptionally well. So don't think that, I'm limited to just these. I've probably got about 450 CDs, and it's part of why I love to just sit back and listen to this music on headphones. I'm one of these people that I prefer headphones actually to speakers. I've had some pretty decent speakers, not of the quality of the headphones I've had a chance to review, but I just get into headphones because they just kind of, I feel like the music surrounds me, and I just become part of it, where I don't feel that much, that way with speakers. So anyway, these are some of the recordings that I love to listen to on headphones, and now some of the stuff I'm listening to, some of what I use to do my reviews. So anyway, I hope this video's helped you. If it did, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you are all welcome to join us over at the Headphone Experience on Facebook. We are up to 13,700 members and just keep growing at about maybe 15 members a day. So hope to see you over there, and once again, thanks for watching my video.